Hey, welcome to another video and another story. Glad to have you here. Today, we're here to recap a new manhwa called Regenerate Top Players. We're going to cover everything up to chapter 22 that's been released. I hope you all support this project. This is the first part, so let's dive in. The story doesn't start in some crazy comic book or movie. It kicks off in a vibrant gaming world. Out of nowhere, a system announcement pops up. Congrats! You're the first to take a joyride in the Immortal Copper. Our gamers pumped. Not just because of the bragging rights, but also for the insane prizes. Way better than any 400 million giveaways. But, of course, the excitement doesn't last. Just when he's soaking up the glory, bam! He's blindsided by an attack. The enemy beats him down and laughs in his face. A worm trying to be a king? Sorry, you don't have what it takes. And just like that, they decide to bury our hero then and there. Fast forward to the end of the intro, and we find ourselves in a hospital. The place feels empty except for the doctor's urgent voices. Patient's a 20-year-old male, severe bleeding. We need to resuscitate now. His pulse flatlines. Start CPR 1, 2, 3, go! Just like that, the beat of life kicks in, jolting our hero back to consciousness. As he opens his eyes, he's hit with a horrifying scene, totally lost and confused. What the hell's going on with me? He remembers getting killed, but now? Where am I? Before he can even make sense of things, he glances down and is absolutely horrified. He's sitting on a pile of corpses. Terrified, he yells out, "I didn't do anything wrong in my past life. Why am I in hell?" Before he can process any of this, a splitting headache hits, blurring his mind even further. He can't even remember who he is. But just like an old fling that fades away, the confusion slowly passes, and his memories come rushing back. My name's Bai Qi, a 20-year-old streamer. I wasn't exactly famous, but my fan base grew, especially after I started streaming a game. The game? It's an action RPG called Throne of the Soul King, set in an open world with a medieval Western vibe mixed with the aftermath of an alien ship crash. It's got this wild blend of ancient civilizations and futuristic tech, making it a hit for its unique setting, epic storyline, and jaw-dropping graphics. But the insane difficulty level? It frustrated so many players that they gave up and instead tuned in to watch streamers like me struggle and suffer through it. I was pulling in massive viewers with my clever tricks, giving them a gaming experience that was as mind-blowing as it was shocking. Just when I thought I had reached the peak of my streaming career, boom, out of nowhere, I died mysteriously. It's like, you die, but you're still alive. Or, more accurately, you're reborn. Then a voice chimes in, "Have you finally broken free from the curse of reincarnation?" Bai Qi, yeah, that's me, can't help but think, wait, who's talking? That voice sounds oddly familiar. Turns out, it's the voice assistant from the gaming platform Game Plus World. And just like that, things start to click. The system jumps in with an announcement. Player Bai Qi, due to your death, the special prize in Throne of the Soul King, the Key of Rebirth, has been activated. You have now been reborn in the world of Throne of the Soul King. At that moment, it hits me. So, the special bonus was rebirth? Though I have no idea exactly when I died. I mean, one resurrection isn't the worst, but hold up. Why couldn't I have been reborn in a world with cute girls and perks, like in some romance game? Or, I don't know, a fun summer trip with hot girls? Why was I dumped into this hardcore, brutal hellscape of Throne of the Soul King? I'd rather just die again, but somewhere chill. At least I wouldn't have to suffer. In response to my, elegant complaints, the system calmly explains, the Key of Rebirth is a unique reward specific to Throne of the Soul King. No switching worlds for you, buddy. No other game offers a benefit quite like this. But as Bai Qi processes what the system just called a benefit, something feels off. What a lousy benefit, he thinks. This feels more like a curse. He's played enough games to know that nothing comes easy, especially in a game like Throne of the Soul King. So he cuts to the chase. All right, system, quit messing with me. What do you really want? And just like that, the system responds, no beating around the bush. Simple, do what you do best. Claim the Throne of the Soul King once again. This time, though, the reward is even bigger. The time travel key. With it, Game Plus World will let you jump between game worlds. Heck, you can even choose to go back to your original world. Seeing this next-level prize, Bai Qi is both intrigued and confused. Why didn't I get this option from the start? Sure, he's all in for a reward like that, but the catch is glaring. In a world as brutally tough as Throne of the Soul King, There's no way I'll get through this by just being reborn normally. I mean, even a random stray dog could take me down again. But then, the system throws in a twist. While there's no infinite resurrection, you're not completely out of luck. The system explains that across the Game Plus World platform, Bok Koi's account is tied to 100 different games, spanning all kinds of genres, each packed with achievements. By completing missions and objectives at various stages, he'll have the chance to randomly unlock main characters from those games. And here's the kicker, he'll inherit their skills, gear, and tools. The detailed explanation from the system leaves Bok Koi stunned, his mind racing between disbelief and excitement. Can I really inherit the abilities and tools of main characters from these 100 games? That's insane. And yeah, it might feel a little like the system is pitying him, but in a way that's pretty cool. I'm a fan of all kinds of games, not just the popular ones, he thinks. These 100 games cover nearly every genre. Big mainstream titles, away masterpieces, indie gems, even those old-school text-based games with no graphics. Just imagining what it'd be like to use the abilities, gear, and equipment from all these characters in Throne of the Soul King makes his pulse quicken. This time, they won't know what hit them. As Bok Koi is deep in thought, the system throws him another curveball. He could also choose to live as an ordinary citizen with no special powers whatsoever. It's entirely his call. Bok Koi can't just brush off the suggestion, so he takes a moment to really think it through. Being an ordinary person, steering clear of the toughest bosses might seem like a safe bet. But then again, there are still all sorts of dangers, disasters, famine, waiting around every corner in this brutal world. There's not much meaning to a life like that, he muses. Is the system subtly pushing me away from the ordinary option, trying to make sure I'm fully committed to becoming the king? Finally, Bok Koi speaks with determination. All right, no need to persuade me any further. Let's settle this once and for all. I've been an ordinary guy for 20 years in my past life, Bok Koi thinks. Now that I've been reborn, there's no way I'm going back to that same life. With one last question, he asks the system, are there any time limits or penalties for becoming the king? The system responds calmly, almost playfully. Oh, my friend, don't be so tense. Relax, there are no time limits or penalties. Then it asks the final question. So, player Bok Koi, are you certain you want to choose the path to become the king? With no restrictions or penalties, why wouldn't he? Bok Koi, without hesitation, signs the contract, officially beginning his journey from an unknown commoner to a high and mighty king. As soon as the contract is signed, the system, with a teasing tone, announces, Player Bok Koi, congratulations on your swift reunion with your ancestors. Oops, I meant your swift return to the throne of the Soul King. Best of luck. Immediately after, Bok Koi is transported to a new location. The first thing he sees is a group of people hanging upside down, casually chatting. One man in the group, Gray, a sorcerer and one of the princess's spirit guardians, begins to mock Bok Koi. Hey, weren't you just bloated and half dead a few days ago? We thought you were done for, but look at you now, back from the dead? What are you, immortal or something? Gray then quickly adds, but that's not important right now. Since you're alive again and those monsters haven't come back yet, hurry up and figure out how to get us down from here. Let's get out of this cursed place together. Reacting to Gray's suggestion, another man quickly cut in. Are you kidding, Gray? You really think this scared little kid is going to save us? Did you see him a few days ago? Crying for his mom and dad, wetting his pants? What a joke. This grumbling came from House, a warrior and another of the princess's guards. He wasn't finished yet. Damn it! If it weren't for those traitors, we wouldn't be stuck in this mess. Just as House finished his rant, a sarcastic voice joined in. Princess Mina? Royal guards? Restoring the kingdom? None of that matters anymore. Let's just die already. I'm sick of this destruction. These bitter words came from Dak Ko, a tiger human hunter whose job was to protect the princess. Meanwhile, there was one more figure among the group, silent and still. Mina, the princess herself, lay there, seemingly unconscious or perhaps in a deep sleep. Her calmness amidst the chaos was unsettling, making Bok Koi wonder if there was more to her character than met the eye. Bok Koi, who had just been thrown into this bizarre situation, was surprised to find himself already familiar with the names and backgrounds of these characters. Wait a minute, something wasn't right. These figures were all NPCs from the game, but how could he, a freshly spawned player, encounter them so early? And this definitely wasn't the starting point of the game. The realization sent a chill down his spine. If I'd chosen the commoner route, I would have been dead the moment I spawned, he thought. The brutal difficulty of this world, it's almost malicious, but now it makes sense. As more pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, Bai Qi reflected on his situation. He was at the very bottom of the social ladder, part of the human race, with an incomplete job class. So, this is how my journey starts, he mused, wondering just how much worse, or perhaps better, things could get from here. The storyline during Bai Qi's reincarnation was completely scrambled, leaving him confused and disoriented. This isn't how things are supposed to go, he thought. The original plot of the game's first chapter was clear in his mind. I should have been born in Enka village, leveling up from 1 to 10. After that, I'd go to the burning forest, leveling up to 20 while completing missions. Then, at level 20-30, I'd be captured by the animated dungeon, where I'd rescue Princess Mina and her companions, who were hung upside down, and we'd escape the dungeon together. But this reincarnation? It had flipped the script completely. His starting point was a total mess. Nothing lined up with the game's story he knew so well. Still, there wasn't much he could do about it. Bai Qi had to push the confusion aside for now and focus on the immediate problem, survival. Don't overthink it, he told himself. Pick an initial class first. Then, I can work out a strategy. Survival comes first. With that, Bai Qi opened the system and looked through his career options. The system displayed a variety of choices in front of him. The first option? Warrior, a close combat class equipped with a longsword and shield. The warrior offered balanced offense and defense, earning the nickname Tank King for their ability to absorb damage while dishing out steady attacks. The second option? Mage, a ranged class that used a staff to cast powerful spells and heal. Mages had immense magical power, making them versatile both in dealing damage and supporting allies. All right, he thought, weighing the options carefully. Bai Qi had several class options, each with their own strengths. There was the Cave, a Chinese term for someone skilled and capable of inflicting massive damage, which was similar to the Warrior, a strong damage-dealing class. Then there was the Assassin, a swift close combat and ranged class known for its agility and lightning-fast attack speed. Elementalist offered a mix of close and ranged combat, using a staff or bow to manipulate nature's forces. And finally, there was the Noob, a class despised by everyone. The Noob had no special attributes or armor. All he started with was a cloth and a stick, which made survival brutally difficult. Yet, without hesitation, Bai Qi chose the Noob, leaving the system baffled. Why choose the weakest and hardest to survive class when so many powerful ones are available? Sensing the system's confusion, Bai Qi patiently explained. The choice of class for the Soul King's throne isn't just about immediate power. It's about survival strategy. While other classes offer more power up front, they're locked into rigid frameworks. The Noob, however, is different. Surviving its hellish early game opens up a secret path. During the mid-game, there's a hidden NPC responsible for attribute purification. This lets you freely switch between classes without restrictions. The reward, Bai Qi emphasized, is massive. By unlocking the Noob's secret, you can switch between all classes and gain all achievements without having to restart multiple times. It was the highest risk class, but also offered the highest reward. That's how I'll be the first to clear the dungeon and get full completion, he concluded. Right, you slowpoke system. Wow, you really are a risk-taker, brother. Bai Qi chuckled, amused by the system's reactions. Now, back to the main topic. He couldn't help but smirk at the situation. No wonder you're a level 0 player, he thought. Suddenly, the system's voice broke the silence. The main mission has been updated. Main mission. Survive to the dungeon exit. Mission reward. 1 account unlock point. An account unlock point can unlock 25% usage rights of items in the current game's inventory, randomly with no level limit, or randomly unlock a new game account along with 25% corresponding item and skill usage rights. The system's notification made Bai Qi realize the urgency of escaping the dungeon. All right, escaping is my top priority, he resolved. He quickly got to work on his mission, but the others in the group were eager to take charge. Finally, you've come to your senses, one of them remarked. So do you too? They began barking orders like they were in charge of the situation. Do you see that rope over there? Cut it and it will drop us. Let's escape together. No mistake, that's it. Cut it, they insisted. But with the experience of his second life weighing heavily on his mind, Bai Qi knew better. He remembered what that rope really did. Cutting it wouldn't lead to their escape. It would likely trigger a trap or alert the monsters lurking nearby. He had to be smart about this. Bai Qi stood there, despite the group's persistent demands. He observed them for a while, weighing his options. Eventually, he did as they asked. and the others expressed their gratitude. "Good people!" they exclaimed, relief washing over them. "Without anyone, we'd still be hanging here, waiting to die. Rather than actively seeking death, I'd rather hang suspended in midair, waiting for it to come." "Now's not the time for this, Gray," another voice interrupted. "Think of a way to wake the princess." Come on, come on. "Can you stop grumbling all day, House?" Gray shot back, continuing his efforts to rouse the unconscious princess. But just then, disaster struck. Without warning, Gray was attacked by something fierce, sending him crashing hard into the nearby wall. The sudden assault startled the others, their fear palpable. Then, from the shadows, a monster emerged. A blood-soaked figure, the leader of the mutated beast tribe, known as Modak. This beast had reached level 30, and to it, the people before it were nothing more than food. If it's food, it should be neatly stored in a freezer, right? As the princess's guards realized who they were up against, panic set in. Why did it suddenly show up? They wondered, their minds racing. Amidst their confusion, Bai Qi couldn't help but chuckle inwardly. He understood the stakes. If he chose to rescue them, the true boss of this dungeon awaited them. "This fight will be tough," he mused, "and everyone will have to give it their all." Bai Qi knew he had to prepare for what was coming, and strategizing in the heat of the moment was going to be crucial. Bai Qi assessed the dire situation, realizing that if he engaged in battle with his current three-nose state, no attributes, no levels, no equipment, he was as good as dead. The important thing is to get out of here first and secure that account unlock point reward, he thought. Whether I come back to rescue them can be decided later. Though the princess's guards were vital NPCs, Bai Qi's survival took precedence. With that resolution in mind, he pretended not to see their plight and began to move on. "Hey kid, what are you doing? Why aren't you helping us? You plan to run away alone?" The guards shouted in desperation. "You think you can escape the dungeon on your own?" one of them yelled. "You don't have any judgment at all. Stop wasting time on him," another chimed in. "He's just a noob with nothing, no IQ, no courage. I bet he won't even survive a minute." Bai Qi could only smirk at their words. "So what? You won't believe me anyway. You'll understand my intention when the time comes." As anticipated, a creature appeared, this time a level 5 mutated beast. It paused momentarily, surprised to see Bai Qi standing there, but Bai Qi was ready for it. The princess's protectors began to whisper among themselves. "Look, I told you so. Even a level 5 mutated beast is too much for a level 1 noob like him. He's dead for sure." But Bai Qi's mind was racing. He knew he had to remain calm. While they underestimated him, he also understood that he needed to outsmart the beast rather than outfight it. He had to rely on strategy, agility, and the hidden skills he hoped to unlock through his daring choice of becoming a noob. The moment had come to put his plan into action. Ignoring the panicked cries of the guards, Bai Qi stood his ground, facing the furious monster. "Even if I choose not to rescue them, I can't avoid fighting," he thought. "Defeating a level 5 monster will be tough, but it's not impossible for me." With his top-tier level 0 skills, Bai Qi easily dodged the beast's attack. The guards gasped, shouting, "Whoa, he dodged it twice! What kind of crazy luck does this kid have?" But one of them recognized the truth. It's not luck. His dodges, though clumsy, were perfectly timed. This kid is not simple. While they weren't ready to declare him a genius, their perspective began to shift. "I just want to die," another muttered, resigned to their fate. Bai Qi smiled to himself, feeling a sense of satisfaction. "Good. The connection between my body and mind is seamless. Even without the support of attributes, equipment, or a class, the experience and reactions from countless battles still remain." As the guards began to grasp his potential, the monster, furious after missing its target, prepared to unleash a grenade directly at Bai Qi. An earth-shattering explosion followed, and everyone braced for the worst, expecting to see Bai Qi dead or at least seriously injured. But to their astonishment, he emerged from the blast unscathed, like a god rising from the ashes. With his simple weapon in hand, Bai Qi swung his stick at the monster, landing blow after blow. The strikes were low in damage but relentless, chipping away at the creature's health. Then Bai Qi stopped, standing tall as he pointed his stick directly at the beast. "This time I'm going to land a fatal blow," he declared, confidence radiating from him. Seeing a seemingly weak human dealing damage like a powerful creature, the monster roared in rage, charging at him with the intent to tear him apart. But Bai Qi was ready. With a sharp pivot, he prepared to exploit the monster's momentum against it. "Let's see how you handle this," he thought, determination surging through him as the battle escalated. But that monster's plan was totally shot. Bai Qi lunged forward, swinging his stick like a champ and sent the monster's head spinning. The guards hanging upside down couldn't believe their eyes. Can you believe it? A level 1 noob just took down a level 5 mutated beast without even getting hurt, using just a wooden stick. The Hello Kitty character was still in a daze, totally admiring the monster's demise. Another guy, a bit calmer, had to admit, "Okay, I seriously underestimated him." But he added, "Still, he must have used up all his strength to barely pull that off. This isn't going to help his survival rate. He's still a dead man walking." Bai Qi just tuned them out and plopped down on the monster's corpse, panting and thinking, "Yeah, I can dodge attacks pretty well thanks to my experience, but there's no way I can make up for this attack power gap so quickly. My stats and weapons are still way too weak. But hey, it's cool, I picked the noob path, so I'll just stick to avoiding fights as much as I can. Avoiding unnecessary fights is definitely the way to go." Right after he took down the monster, the system popped up with a notification. Player Bai Qi has defeated a level 5 mutated beast. You've received 100 soul points, 3 gold coins, the Shattered Fang weapon plus 5 close combat attack power. His stat info flashed on the screen and he couldn't help but think again, "Man, my attributes are just as bad as I thought. I still need 900 soul points to level up. Killing monsters to level up is just not happening right now. The ultimate goal, escape this dungeon as quickly and safely as possible." With that in mind, he got up and started to leave. But the others called out after him, "Wait a minute, brother. You're really not considering my suggestion? There are a lot of powerful people here. If we leave together, our chances of survival will be way higher. Just let us down and you can have whatever you want. Gold coins, equipment, anything." Hearing their pleas, Princess Mina, who had finally snapped out of her unconscious state, spoke up. "Okay, Gray, there's no need to beg. If you can't escape using your own strength, then it's not worth dying here. If we can't overcome this misery, how can we tackle the bigger dangers on the road to restoring our kingdom?" The princess's sudden voice caught Gray off guard since he didn't even realize she was awake. Ignoring him, she turned to Bai Qi and assessed him. "Level 1 noob, huh? Your choice wasn't the best, but I respect it. Even though you seem pretty confident, I want to give you a little advice. The line between life and death is super thin. You've got to be careful with your actions. Even when things get tough, can you keep your cool and grace?" Alright guys, that was the first part of this manhwa, and I'll be posting a new episode every day. I hope you support me and keep the energy up for the continuation. For newcomers, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. Let me know your thoughts on this manhwa in the comments. Thanks, and bye.